Welcome back to another episode of The Outfit. So it's been a few days since the last episode and we've made some good progress. The first thing we did was removing those handles on the tray.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I think I've spoken about it in another episode how I was going to cut off all the handles. There were 4 on each side, plus this weird piece that was about here that stuck out of the original tray, and that was what the sides went on. I really actually fought to keep them because I just thought they looked cool. They were almost like a feature piece, with the secondary objective of them, because they stuck out a bit, if anything kind of grazed or drove into the side of the truck, at least that would be the first point of contact, and they were pretty sturdy. And then when we spoke to the fiberglass supplier ages ago, he was like, yeah, just leave them on and I'll cut this alloy around them. But because there was quite a lot of different measurements to make, cuts to do to make everything work, I figured it would look really strange having like jigsaw cutouts all along the edge and the back, and also the fact that it would then remove surface area from this thick alloy plate, which is the main purpose of it is to secure the tray and the box together. That's like a mating surface. So I ended up lopping all of those off of the grinder. It took like half the day.
Yeah, and to be honest, we're very pleased with the result. Really like that low profile now, kind of like smooth edge. Next thing we did as well was measuring around the hatches and the door for the aluminium, because as you can see, there was a bit of trimming to do. That was a bit tricky and as well required quite a few tools.
Yeah, so I ended up having to use just a normal grinder to cut these bits out, which wasn't a lot of fun. It took ages. Alloy seems to cut way slower than steel. So because the miter saw that we bought, you can't cut something that long, so you can kind of cut in, but you can't. Yeah, so that was interesting. So I had to do that there, and then obviously the hatch on the other side, and then marry it up to the pieces that had already been done.
And that's basically the final result after cutting everything and measuring and back and forth. A lot of work. We just glued it and now it's on. So that will be a good test for the next rain to see if our aluminium now sealing and caulking that Chris did as well additionally will work and the leaks are gone. Fingers crossed.
So there's only a couple more pieces that I want to do. I want to fill this piece in here. I'll probably put a little triangle in, as opposed to me cutting at that angle there. Looks kind of strange, so I'll put a little triangle there, and then the other part I'm not happy with is this cap. So it was his idea to put that in, but probably should have cut there and then married that to the bottom. But I'm gonna maybe put a cap here so that doesn't look, because I think it just looks unfinished. It'll be better when it's all one paint job, but yeah, it just looks unfinished.
So as you can see, most of the aluminium is finished. We are ready for new projects for the week.
All right, so this morning is more grinding. I'm gonna chop this front lifting tongue off. So it's just the factory Unimog toe point for the front. So I'm gonna chop that off. Hopefully it won't be too hard, just using the grinder. And then we're gonna test fit our little front surprise winch plate. And we do have a fancy new winch as well to install. So this is my reward for all of the alloy that we've done on the box, because I hated that job. I reckon this job will be a lot more fun.
So while Chris is on the grinder working on the winch plate at the front of the mug, I'm gonna start to work again on the hatches that we kind of like left aside for a few days to make the mug waterproof. But now this needs as well to be 100% waterproof. We've got some little tiny gap on each corner that I'm just gonna use the sealant just to make sure it's perfect. And then I have to cut the seals just to prevent the dust to come in. So I'm gonna have to work out exactly how I go about that. So it's pretty cool. I've got my little project for the day now. Chris is learning to delegate, which is nice.
That's better. That is much better.
Wow. So what is it?
Part 1 of the winch plate. Not painted yet, just test fitting it.
Oh, that looks already so good.
Grind the corners a little bit. Yeah, big boy winch will sit here. There's going to be another piece down here, and then I've still got to put that back on as well, the oil sump pan. That'll protect the bottom of the engine.
Happy with it?
Very.
Nice.
Very, so far. But yeah, need to fit it and we'll see how we go. It's probably not going to be as simple
Never simple.
as it seems, knowing the Unimog.
But always succeed regardless.
That's true.
Quality check.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very impressed.
I'm impressed.
All right.
The only thing I would change, sorry, is I would just try and fill the gaps a little bit more.
A bit more, okay.
Just so that it doesn't look as much of a gap because of the shadow. You see the shadow heading in
Yeah, on
there?
this one. This one is good.
That one's good. Yeah, that one's really
I see
good.
what you mean.
Maybe that one and that one.
Oh, good.
Just a little bit. But yeah, it looks really nice.
Alright, so we are back for day 2. We've just sanded the winch plate and I'm now just degreasing it. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. So we went back to NLB to pick up the Raptor, and we had a great chat as well with them about the option for the camper box. So we won't disclose that yet, but yeah, that was some pretty interesting stuff that we can do, so stay tuned for that. Let us know actually in the comment what you think we should do for the box, because we've got a few ideas. But
Yeah, we don't like the white.
yeah, no, we definitely don't want to keep it white.
And when the sun hits it, it's blinding. You can't be anywhere near it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, no, very keen. It's not gonna be yet, but we'll definitely do that at some stage. All right, so our winch bed are now painted and it looks like it's drying pretty well. Chris is going to pick up a winch. Big, heavy duty winch for the mug.
Oh man. 20,000 pound run of a winch. 24 volt.
New toy.
Yep, synthetic rope. This thing is all weapon. And we've got 2 of them.
Yeah, the second one, the rare one, is gonna take a bit more mods to install. This one should be hopefully pretty straightforward.
Hopefully this will be on tomorrow.
Oh.
I mean, not wired up, but on. Oh man, that thing's really heavy. Oh,
All right, let's open it up.
Oh, sorry. Gotcha.
Christmas.
It is. Instructions. Speed radar gun.
All of the goodies.
All of the good. Okay, stop bolts.
Don't lose those ones. We know that.
Okay, control. So we'll decide where to mount that. Don't know if I'll go hook or not. Hook for now. Might change that. Alright, better get this bad boy out of the bag then.
I'll hold the cardboard.
I'm now regretting having it on this table.
Oh, we can put it on the floor. All good?
Straight onto your cell phone.
No.
Look at that. That's badass.
Looks so great.
What a weapon.
Alright, back for another day of working on the bog. While I was doing a bit more caulking around the hatch in the inside this time, Chris is installing the winch.
Yes, look at that. It's not finished yet, but man.
That looks really, really good.
Cool. I was worried it would stick up too high, but no, it looks...
It suits the mog like really well. Was it fairly easy to install?
Yeah, yeah. I was just getting the bolts to match up because they're all different sizes. So I need to clean these off because they're a bit rusty, put some anti-seize on them, chuck that new plate on, bolt it all up.
Oh, can't wait to show you the finished result. It's gonna look amazing.
Yeah.
Alright, what are we doing?
So you're gonna put those on. I'm gonna put these on. I'm gonna turn this on. Obviously you can't touch here.
From where? This here?
Yeah, don't let it move. Nice and clean. Ta-da! How sick is that? Oh, I'm so happy with that. It makes the truck look so much more modern, hey? So the control box is down in here, but the cables don't quite reach, so I'll need to extend all the cables. So I'll go there. But yeah, huge thanks to Darren in South Australia. It's his design, the winch plate system. It's two big plates that you saw. And he kindly had the outfit stamped in CAD, and then he went and got the steel bent for us and then shipped it over to us. So we just had to pay for the fabrication of the metal. So cool. Yeah, it looks wicked. And then I've just put some like red backing behind it for now, just as a temporary to see if it looks right. I reckon we'll probably cut the blue sheath off the synthetic rope off so that it's just grey and red. I think that'll look better. At the moment there's just a lot of colours. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's finished the front end for now. At some point I'd like to do a bar right across. But yeah, it can come later.
And as well, a huge thank you to our patron, because this is the May contribution right here that help as well to create part of the winch and those winch plates. So huge thank you.
Oh, awesome. Can't wait to use it now.
All right, so now we are done for the day. We're gonna have a pretty exciting evening with a bonfire and some 8% alcoholic ginger beer.
You know it's good.
All right, we'll see you.
This season.
We'll see you next time.
See you later. Alright, so those Delcor batteries we got, they are quite a bit bigger than the stock kind of batteries that I've just pulled out of the MOG. So what I'm doing is I've pulled the tray out. So this thing here, so that had the batteries on them, used to slide out here on these things. So I'm removing those because obviously I don't need them anymore. I'll remove the ones in the back. And then I may even need to remove these little mounts here with a grinder, which won't be too big of a deal. And then the new batteries should fit on some new battery trays. And then it won't be as easy because I won't be able to slide them out, but that's not a big deal.
Oh my god.
Yummy.
So what's going on?
Again, box guy
Thanks again.
has riveted onto this. This is hollow. And obviously with all the rain, it's actually gotten through the rivet points and it's filled this entire beam full of rusty water.
Because the rivets are not sealed, is that right?
The rivets aren't sealed. Well, never mind. A lot of water.
That's crazy. Alright, as you can see behind me, it's raining again. Unfortunately, we just went to do these holes on the tray. That was good timing. And now we are back in the shed trying to seek shelter and working on the battery tray.
So Jake at Challenge Batteries WA sorted us out with some new Dalcor units. And she come down here. These are the batteries that came with the MOG. Now they've only got 500 cold cranking amps. There's two of them obviously. We're swapping those out for 780 cold cranking amps per unit. These fit really snugly in the ADF battery tray. I want to try and modify the tray a little bit with a grinder to make these larger units fit, because it's quite handy being able to just slide the batteries out together and play around with the terminals that way rather than pulling them out. We tried charging these on a battery charger. We've had to jump start them. They just keep dying, so there must be a cell or two that's stuffed in these batteries. Normally they should have a little green light on top. This is just completely blacked out, so I'd say at least this one's completely dead. The other one was kind of holding on for dear life. But yeah, awesome new batteries, so I'm just going to sort that out and try and get them to work today while it rains. Alright, battery tray is all modded. So that was really, really simple. I've also added in here the winch isolation switch. So I've just mounted that there in the middle. I'll be able to fit something else in here, maybe some fuses or something like that. So all I have to do was just screw the trays down through the floor, cut the excess off. Then I've just added a little bit of car builders just to add a little bit of like vibration dampening. So you don't really want your batteries taking too much of a hiding that way. And then the projector battery clamps will go on as well. So yeah, and I've tested it, measured it. There's enough height to have these up this high. I just had to shave the ends of the bolts off. So now we're just going to clean up the original battery tray inside, put the sliders back in that I removed yesterday, and maybe do a little bit of painting, and we'll be good to go.
All right, time to degrease the box.
What are you doing here, Ange?
Fancy seeing you here. You coming often?
It's a bit grotty in here, huh?
Oh, it's really grotty.
Gross. Gross. Oh!
Before, and that's after. Ta-da! You did it.
Yeah.
Time to see if the MOG is starting. So what are you up to?
I am extending the winch cables, so I've decided to put the control box down in here just to get it off there, which is really exposed to salt spray, and it covers up a lot of the grill. But I've got to extend these instead. So the actual winch came with some extra cable, I guess for the batteries, and I'm using that to extend it with. But because it's such thick gauge cable, I'm using copper pipe to marry the two together and heat shrink, and kind of doing it that way. We've got a hydraulic press, which is Clint's, which is proving really, really helpful, because I don't know how else I'd do this actually. Yeah, it's tedious.
Just that part, the yellow. Oh, this one.
No, you need to push that down too.
It's very much a two-man job. "10 hours later.
There we go.
And the final job, putting this over the copper. Just requires a bit of patience.
Oh wow, that's she's better than I am. Do you want a little screwdriver to help get it
to
over
put
that
those little things. Yes, please, assistant. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm a little bit like a surgeon.
Certainly wouldn't want us operating on anyone. Bit of a screwdriver in here, bit of pushing and shoving, arguing with each other. Should be right.
There. Ta-da! I'm done!
Do you want the honours? You're not a big fan.
No,
of
I don't like lighters.
Shrink.
And this is the finished result.
Yeah, so that's all wired to the motor. And then we're still going to do to the battery. But we'll do even thicker cable for the battery, and then we have to test this bad boy.
But that will be a job for next week. We've got quite a few little jobs that we need to tackle still before starting the internal fit out, but that will be coming very soon.
Thanks for watching, guys, and really appreciate the support as always.
See you next week.
Cheers.